Hello, everybody. This is Man Alone, and this is my YouTube channel, which is also named, it's named after me, and so it's also called Man Alone. And we are headed back to Deepfall Breach. We are our player character, Grotty, our intrepid artisan mallard, has been there in suspended animation. Excuse me, let me get a little sip of coffee. Sorry for slurping. So we're actually going to go join Groddy again and advance along with him. Little does he know that we control his fate from this other dimension, but we'll try to do right by him. And yeah, we are headed into the third room. We just had a little bit of a conflict in the previous room. We came out of it we've been better. Okay, let me say that. Looks like we have lost 3 willpower points here, and let's see, 3 HP. So, but you know what? We didn't come away empty-handed, because we also left the second room both angry and dazed. So what that means, to remind all of you fans at home, that whenever we roll agility or intelligence rolls, we will be rolling those with a Bane. We also, well, I don't want anyone to forget also that, and this I think is important here, is that in the top right-hand corner, you can't fully see this, but it's important that you remember that Groddy, let me go ahead and move our camera here. Groddy has foul body odor and is also heavily perfumed. And I just want to point that out because I think everybody before 1800 was doing that. I think a bath happened pretty infrequently. So I just don't want anyone coming away with this feeling superior to Groddy Flagstaff because of his body odor problem. He's working on it. He's got an ugly scar across his bill. I think it gives him character. But yeah, we're gonna rejoin Groddy real soon, and we already have a room built out from the last video. Let's watch a replay of that. Hey, it's the last video. There's a meat room. It's made out of flesh, and how cool. There's some orcs here, and there's also a spinning blade trap, and we just got into the room, and this is a replay of the last video, and the room is kind of made out of like skin, and there are some orcs there, but in the future, when we watch this replay in the future, we know that orcs are the reason that we're down here, because we're actually going to be releasing a captive orc. So when I film the next video and we do this replay, we'll look back on this and remember that the whole point of this was to get an orc. Okay, and cut back to present. Oop. Hey, so there was the replay. And just as a side note, not everyone can afford like Adobe editing software. I just want to say that apropos of nothing. And so, yeah, we're going to join Groddy in room number 3 here with some orcs, and we'll see how that unfolds. Thank you to some feedback from a Swedish person I know who told me that even though these stands are really fun, we would be able to see the figurines better if I laid them down. And so this is what I do for all of you, the viewers, because you're the most important thing to me. And other than they are rebooting Frasier, and so you guys are tied for 1 and 2 with the Frasier reboot. But we're going to go back to Groddy's predicament here soon, because a couple of things that really cool that happened in between the last time we filmed and now. I need to find a place. There we go. Was that I thank you to Free League or Fria Liga, who sent me some copies of, first of all, their rule book, so that if we need to reference anything, you don't just have to stare at me sort of paging through this on my own in the camera and not being able to see anything because the glimmer is too strong. We'll be able to reference the rules right in front of the screen. They also did a copy of the solo rules, which is also really awesome. This will also let me show you some of the tables that I'm working on so that you can actually see what I'm reading without having to squint or hold your phone directly in front of your eye. Also, I'm happy to say and extremely excited that I did buy the new bestiary, the whole kit, which is going to come with, like a bunch more of these. I don't know, 60 of them, which I'm really looking forward to. But the bestiary itself, the physical copy of it, I think is going to come in a few months. But what they did send was an advanced copy of that. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. I don't want to, not that this would be the thing to do it, but I do, I encourage you to buy this content because this is a really amazing game, and Free League is really doing amazing things here with it. But just to give you a look through this, it has a couple new, as they're called, NPCs, as well as monsters, and some new playable kin. And here's the list of that. So we have a human, a halfling, a dwarf, elf, mallard, wolfkin. We knew that, but now there's something for orc, ogre, goblin, hobgoblin, of course a fan favorite, the frog people, whose starting ability is leaping, Karkion, which I wish I didn't know what that was, cat people, lizard people, and satyrs. So there is a lot of new fun for everyone, and in fact, for a lot of these where you're saying, hey, that kind of sounds like a villain, well, yes, they're NPCs, right? And so what they do in this bestiary is they give you these and they say you can play these as heroes if the GM allows for it. And when you're solo playing, all that means is you have to sit and just think for a minute and you could decide for yourself. But yeah, maybe in some parties it wouldn't make a lot of sense to have, say, like an ogre be in your party. But I do really like this about this game is that, the day-to-day enemies that you're facing, they are NPCs. And so it is not automatically assumed that you're about to go into battle mode. I think that works really well for solo play. Here's a more rare kin. We have cat people. For some reason, I think everyone watching this right now knows someone that would 100% pick cat people. And if you don't know anyone like that, it's because you are the cat people person. Centaur, not playable, but that's just an example of one of the NPCs you might get in a fight with. Fairy, frog people. Huge favorite of mine ever since I played Chrono Trigger on the SNES. And what was that frog's name? He had the most, I think his name was Glenn. And Glenn had the Masamune blade and sawed a mountain in half, which is one of the greatest moments in all of gaming history. So really good stuff. I'll show you the Karkion here. That's a flying cat. Can you imagine if you got home from work and your cat just looked like this? I mean, at that point I would just say, please take me away and up high and drop me. Lizard people, you all know, the rest of this, but yeah, lots of new enemies, NPCs. Is going to be really good, and I'm especially liking this because I'm just really excited about them expanding this universe. I'm very happy to report that I successfully got my D&D 5e group to convert to Dragonbane for the campaign. I'm very excited about it. I just think this system, it just works better, folks. It's an incredible. Let's open our minds and our hearts to new things. speaking of, I decided I needed to figure out a little bit about this chap right here, Grotty. Turn the lights down just a little bit here. I'm not trying to like make this romantic or anything. I just don't want quite as much glare there. Yeah, so our friend Groddy, I didn't really establish what Grotty is even here for. I didn't do a lot of characterization. And so I said, well, hey, I have a lot of awesome RPG books. I have a lot of good solo games. I have a lot of good other non-solo games that have very good player NPC generating tables nonetheless. And so I thought, you know what? What has some of the best generators is UVG. So 1 second, let me grab that. I've shown this on a previous video, but if you haven't seen it, you may be about to get jealous because this book is incredible. Has anyone played a campaign of it all the way through? I'm not certain. After all, the rules, they can get just a wee bit complicated. There's what you got to do on each turn, no problem. Although their core system here is C. I thought it was CCAT, but that actually spells SWRT. Anyways, I looked through this and I said, oh, they have these amazing character generation tables in here for NPCs, and maybe I can find a little bit more out about Grotty. I thought that was a good idea, and so I rolled on them, and it turned out that Grotty, in this, if I had gone with this option, Grotty would have been a in proto-Indo industrialist, no, anti-industrialist that was looking to have laser engraving barcodes removed from his neck and was possibly not living in base reality. And I thought, maybe that's not exactly the type of vibe we're going for in this game. I think that would be very cool in a game like Cyborg. Of course, I can't find it right now because I can't find anything once I start filming. But yeah, so I said, hey, look, thanks a lot. I hope I can use that in the future. Oh, here we go. So yeah, there's lots of good oracles in the back here of ultraviolet grasslands, which let me just get a shot of the cover. Beautiful, beautiful. And there's so much like specificity, like when you're in a transport, what's vehicle trouble, a whole curio for that. And wagons, carts, and coaches, undead, vehicles and mounts, caravan quests, a whole table of financiers. So maybe we could say Grotty is a cat witch faction leader who wants to get a secret weapon to start a Vohm slug rebel cell in the Voidwalker Ultra Cell as their sworn opponent. And my weakness would be I appear only as a hologram. And I think I'm a pretty good solo player, but I don't think I could handle that. And so I said, the next thing I thought was, what about the Scarlet Heroes solo generator? Let me grab that without toppling everything over here. Scarlet Heroes has some excellent, just easy, simple, straightforward, but still comprehensive stuff to generate dungeons, wilderness events, urban adventure scenes, and then actors, relationships, and reactions. And I was looking over this. I said, this is perfect. But you know what? I actually kind of want to stick to the source material a little bit. And I remembered, why not? Let's see here. Let's just use the inspiration table because we already have this, right? We already have this. Where am I here? Is this my solo rules? Yes. We have this inspiration table right here. And so maybe we can figure out what Grotty is in it for just from this table. And what I'm going to try to do on the fly here is add a side by side of my camera. so that we can see it in person. Shoot, I'm getting good at this. All right, so let's see here. So let's pull out the, what is this, 2d20, and we'll say we'll roll this a couple times. So Grotty, 8, 6, 14, is in it for scavenging, or maybe Grotty works as a scavenger. And 15, scavenge, moving. 15 plus 1, 16. Refuge. Scavenge, moving, refuge. So let's think about that for a second. So maybe let's separate that from being a sentence. Let's think of it as loosely as we can. Scavenge, moving, refuge. So let's say that Groddy has hit some hard times. Maybe Groddy used to be, I was an artisan, I was a carpenter, I was a good fighter, but because I've lost something, I've led to a life of scavenging. I've moved around a lot seeking refuge, but maybe there's something that always comes up. Maybe there's something in my past that comes up that causes me to move, often when I feel like, the heat's turned up too much. I think that's actually pretty good for now. And so we'll go with that for now and see maybe how that pans out. And I was thinking about it just reading on the Dragonbane Discord as well as the Reddit. A lot of these solo quests are ending in brutal deaths. We will try our best not to, but if that should happen, I'm thinking about playing it like Rogue Legacy, where maybe Grotty's offspring comes in to go to the place where their father was last seen, something like that. It doesn't even have to be a family member, because I think that can get, if I die 16 times, then maybe I will be using the UVG Techno Syndicate rules or whatever. But we just say, this is another adventurer, and this person is in the past. Maybe we could figure out some way to roguelike it a little bit and add some advantages to that person. I don't know. We'll improvise, right? It's the name of the game. So Grotty is in the room here. And, oh, by the way, before I start, we got to name our 3 rocks. Cecilia, Atreyu, Malchior. All right, very good. Just to loosen up our improvisation skills a little bit. All right. So, Groddy has gotten through the last room, and if we recall, looks like in the last room there was a bat. Is that right? Oh no! You know what? In the last room, we made it across. We went underwater, and I know. Are we on? Oh right. You know what the last room was? The last room was when we had that was actually a really cool scene picture. So that last room, let me grab my keyboard here. That last room was actually where we had the 5 sarcophagi, and we had to fight an undead. And there was some traps. That was really fun. I really like how I set that up. So we found the door to room 3. Oh man, do I have to spell sarcophagi? 5 sarcophagi. Trap door, undead, villain. And this was, sorry, I'm typing on my lap. I don't normally type that poorly. This was the one where I actually ended up taking damage. It wasn't from the bat in the first room. It was because I had to fight a melee fight against an undead kind of corpse that came out of one of the sarcophagi. But we were able, I literally did it as badly as I could have. I think I got on the fourth one, I finally got it. If I would have found the other one, I would have encountered another undead with like range attacks. But in this room, we're encountering some orcs, just because I don't want this to end too quickly. We're going to do 2 orcs here, and we'll see if there's any more. But again, if we recall, the name of this mission is the Captive Orc, and so it's entirely possible that this is not going to be a battle, but it is entirely possible that it also could be a battle. And of course, remember, we are in Deepfall Breach. The more I've been reading about this game, the more I think that if we get through this, we can go out and explore and do some solo playing all over the world. But I think this is going to be a good way to cut my teeth. All right. So we have these orcs, and I think what we're going to do here with these orcs is let's actually see what they want. And so I think we'll use the inspiration table for that as well. Now we know kind of that they're probably looking for this captive orc, but maybe there's more to that story. And if you will recall, I'm sorry I don't have a play mat that is flesh made of flesh, but remember, this is kind of a strange room here that is made with like the walls and ceilings seem to be fleshy. There's a trap in here of spinning blades. So let's see how this shakes out. So 12, 6, 18. They want strengthen. Okay. 14. Mighty. This sounds very orky. 19 again. Treasure. Okay. All right. So I come in here, and this one right here at the front, and we'll say that this one's name is Gartug. And Gartug says, "Oi, don't move any closer. We're here on official orc business." And Groddy says, "Well, look, I almost got I just had to go through a coffin to get here. I really didn't want to be in this room. If you're on official business, that's fine, but I'm on official business too, and I have to get by here." "Well, you can't." And I say, "Well, are you going to stop me?" They said, "Possibly, but if you're anything like us, we can't. There's literally no way out of here." And over here is a door, okay? And we'll actually place that door, because this, I forgot, is another thing that we found was, we'll put it over here, that there was a door that was sealed. Okay, so there's one sealed door in this flesh room. And these orcs are basically saying, look, you can't get anywhere. They're not immediately hostile. But there is a door, and maybe they can't get to it. And maybe they're worried if they can't get to it, they can't open it. And I say, well, I'm a carpenter, and so I might be able to get that door open. And they're like, "Is that right? How do we know you even who you says?" And I say, well, I actually talked to Inglefur, and this is what put me on this quest in the first place, right? Was talking to Inglefur, the Wolfkin, and going into the breach. If we recall, this first mission here was the captive orc, the leader of a sect of demon cultists, holds the Worldbreaker shard, right? Their power cannot stain his grass. Foul magics cloud their... Oh, sorry. Let me bring this up for you. Cloud magics... what it means. Seek below a band of cultists. Okay. An orc named Gorum. So they're transporting Gorum. And Gorum knows the locations of the cultist outposts and may serve as a valuable ally in the days to come. So I say, look, I know about Gorum. Okay, so I want to help. And they say, well, you can try to help if you want, but what if we can't even get through this door? And the other one says, yeah,
How do we even know you's who you says you is?
And I say, well, if you can't get through that door, then what does it matter? You're just stuck in a flesh. Like, we're all stuck in the same situation. I just came through a coffin door and slid down here. And they said,
Be that as it may, you's here's gonna fight one of us. And if you win, you get to help us.
and this makes no sense, right? And it's important that it makes no sense, because that's the best thing about orcs, right? Is that they never make any sense. And so I say, look, I just got in a fight in the last room. I don't want to have to get in a fight again here. I'm scratched up. I'm beat up a little bit. They go,
Yeah. So what? Listen here. You's gonna fight us. One of us. We'll give you a little break. You fight this over here.
and this one's name is Threk.
He said, you fight Threk.
And in fact, I got to start writing this down, don't I? So orcs, we're going to call Gartug and Threk. And we're looking for Gorham, who's the leader.
You fight Threk, because Threk's my new recruit, and I want to see if he's worth his medal. And then, if you win, we'll team up, and we'll go through together.
And I said, but won't Gartug be dead if I win?
Yeah, maybe just beat him within an inch of his life. And then if we win, then we ain't got to talk to yous no more.
And I'm like, okay, so like we kind of work out something here where it's like that scene in Friends with Chandler and I think Joey where they want to get in a fight, but then they make rules around like face shots and everything like that. It's not going to be quite that, but the rule is no death blows. All right. So if we get within one hit of death, I think then we'll call it there and we'll see how this turns out. So since Gartug here is novice, I think what we're going to do is we'll put him at 10 for the skill level. And as a reminder to everyone here, we have a little flow sheet to help us with this. So we're not going to do a special attack. So we declare our damage type. And if we remember, which I hope you did, I hope you studied before watching this, we have a hand axe. And I also, that somebody told me this poison dagger that I picked up is definitely not a weapon that was intended to be used by me. It was, they said, in the improvised weapons deck, there's like a couple, or sorry, not improvised weapons, but in the treasure deck, there's a couple of treasures that are intended as sort of like tricks. And so the thing with the poison dagger, if I recall correctly, and I definitely put these cards, there it is. Okay. So the poison dagger, this makes more sense. This is what I thought initially. So it says, roll for evade. If you fail, you cut yourself and suffer a potency 12 poison. Roll D3 for the type lethal, paralyzing, sleeping. So I'm not going to go back and change that because I equipped that. All right. But what I am going to do is I'm probably going to use it as a throwing weapon. And then, if I throw it, I'm not going to pick it up again. Okay. And if I do pick it up again, I will do that poison roll on it. But then we have the hand axe, which is nice, 2d6 damage. And because whenever we're rolling to see if we're going to make contact, we have to roll under our skill level. And so for axes, that skill would be 10. All right. And so because this is, a basic NPC here, being that he's not like a special super boss or anything like that, What we'll do is I think we'll use the recommendations inside the solo rules that make a generic combatant, which if I couldn't find this, not Inglefur. Yeah, here we go. So simple NPC, we'll call Gartug a minion. We'll say HP 12, no armor, damage 2d6, and then, roll against 10 basically for anything. And as far as relevant skills, we won't worry about that for now. But we will say that, movement's going to be 10. And so Threk comes over and says,
all right, I'm going to call and referee this match.
And by this time, it was just so frustrating, right? Because you're like, why do we have to do this? Why can't I just help them?
He says, what you're going to do is take 10 paces back and then turn around and then charge at each other.
And so I just want to get this over with here. And so I say, fine, just count it off. And he says, okay. And so he starts going this way, but I'd say right about here is a point in which Gartug is going to do a sneak attack on me. And I don't think it's because... I do not actually think that it's because Gartug is trying to cheat. I actually think it's more likely that Gartug does not know how to count to 10. Okay. And so let's take a look at the sneak attack rules here. And I think they're called ambush. All right. Let's see, an ambush. No, this is not an ambush. It's a sneak attack. When you sneak up on someone undetected and perform an attack, it's a sneak attack. First, you make a sneaking roll. So we'll actually roll against 10 to see if Gartug can successfully do this, or if my perception is going to pick it up. You can choose an initiative card. You also get a boon on the attack. Yeah. So what we'll do is if we'll roll against 10 here with Gartug and 19. So did not get it. So this huge dumb orc is coming towards me. I definitely hear it. I turn around just in time, and I'm going to engage with an attack. We're going to roll initiative to see if I get the drop on Gartug or not. Let's just roll these up a bit. All right, so for me, I have 7, and Gartug has 9. So I actually get the drop here, but we'll just play it straight up and down. And rolling against, we want to hit under 12. And first one, 4, very nice. So I'm going to get a nice hit off on Gartug. And remember, the HP here is 12 for him. I also want to mention that I believe this is a huge waste of time. And so I'm going to go ahead and put our threat counter up at 2 while I still have that top of mind here. And so our 2d6, we're rolling for the attack, and we hit a 4 and a 4. And so I really ding this guy here for quite a walloping. I mean, this is a nice attack here, 8 out of 12. And I would say that right from that hit,
he's like, okay, I'll surrender. I'm sorry.
And Threk up here is just like,
well, I have to say, I'm deeply, deeply disgusted in Gartug. And Gartug is just like, yeah, I'm pretty upset with myself as well.
Right, and they say, all right, so what does that solve, though? Because we can't get over here. There's some sort of something blocking their way. And it's not that these orcs are super perceptive or super clever or anything, but they know well enough that there's something going on here. And this is going to turn out to be a spot. This is going to be the trap. This is going to be the blade trap. And so what I'm going to roll against here is, I believe, spot hidden. What do I have for spot hidden? Is it 12? Very nice. Okay, so we'll roll against a 12 with a spot hidden. And you know, I might actually, if I fail this, I might push that roll just because I definitely do not want to get diced up by a blade trap. But we'll actually see if it's even going to be me that's going to go through that trap. But I am down to 6 out of 9 HP, so roll under a 2d6. 19. What is the spot hidden's intelligence? I don't have a... Oh, you know what? Well, I definitely lost that because I should have rolled. I should have actually rolled with a bane on that because I was angry at the time, and this probably made me more angry. So yeah, we're gonna lose that one. So what we'll do is I'm going to, you know, this is a blade trap, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that what we'll do is we'll roll for damage. Let's see if I can find... There we go. So there is something here to roll for basic damage to see how bad something got you. There we go. Suffering damage. Do I want to say this is severe damage? A blade trap. Well, let's roll a d6 and see. Let's see. Let's just leave it up to that. A 5. Okay, so moderate. So 2d6. I'm going to roll a 2d6 and then so 9. And I'm then going to roll a I'm going to roll, what would be a good roll here? I will roll an acrobatics check, I think, to see if anyone is able to get on the way. Now, if this hits me, I'm dead. Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that to you. Because also my acrobatics is a 4, so it's very unlikely I'm going to hit that. I didn't spot it. It's a 9 damage. What if we said we'll roll through each, and if you don't hit your evade... Oh, well, that's more for an attack, isn't it? That would be a little bit of a joke for me to say that acrobatics is not the thing that needs to be used here, because if we look in the actual rule book, there is, I'm looking for where we can find an entry on acrobatics. Falling on a hard surface inflicts a number of d6s, a bludgeoning damage equal to half, fall less than 2 meters. So a successful acrobatics roll. All right. Yeah, so I will do a roll for everybody. Since we have 9, what I'm going to do is a roll 4 for me and then 10 for both of them. And if it hits me, I'm going to take, we're all like trying to evade a piece of this blade trap. All right. So it's 9. So that means each of us stand to lose 3. I'll roll acrobatics. Since I don't know their acrobatics, we'll just use their attribute score of 10. And if I roll under them, for that, they'll evade it. But if I don't roll under a 4 for myself, then I'll take the hit. But I will take off my armor damage of 1, so it'll hit me for 2. You see how a solo player keeps themselves alive, friends. You just got to use your noggin. All right, but I'm not going to cheat here. We're going to roll for Gartug first. Gartug does not, so Gartug actually got hit. And that would put Gartug's dead. No, he had 4. So that means Gartug has 1 HP left. All right. And then we're going to roll for Threk under 10, 18. Threk is definitely taking that as well, so we'll put him down to 9. And then for myself, come on, 4, 3, 2, or 1, please, please. Although I could push this, but I don't even know if that's worth it because no, I can't. I'm dazed, and you know what? Because I'm dazed, I have to roll this with a bane. So here's a miracle roll, everyone. Ready? You've seen it here. Would not have hit either. Okay, so I'm gonna take 2 off of me, because that needs to do something to me. So we will take 2 hit points. So I'm down to 4. However, I think that I can convince these guys because nothing is happening in this room right now. Maybe I say to them, okay, I'm sorry I did that, but I think maybe we should all just sit here for a second and just take a little bit of a rest. What do you say? Should we all just take a little bit of a rest? And I think I should roll a persuasion check on this. And if I can get them to do it, what I think I should do is take, what is this called? Page 52, a shift rest. A stretch rest, a short rest that only lasts for one stretch of time. So that'll be like 15 minutes. And we would roll, let's say D6 HP for me and 2d6 HP we'll do 2d6 HP for Gartug because we'll have Threk kind of 10 to Gartug, won't roll healing for themselves, and we'll see if we can roll under a 10 for that. We're just trying to get some. Oh, did I lose the place here? We're just trying to get some HP back here. So I'll roll. Yeah, I think this is what makes the most sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll D6 to see what I get back. Let's try this. So we'll take oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I got to do the persuasion check because they might not even want to do it. So luckily oh man. All right. My charisma is 4. So luckily I don't have to roll that with a bane. Oh man, this is not going to go well. So I'm going to try to get them to rest and I'm going to roll under 4. Yeah. Not quite under 4. We rolled a 19. So they say,
No, we don't need that. Orcs don't need that. We just get right back to it. We'll be just fine. Now tell me, you told us that you could get through this here door.
And yes, I can. But I tell them, this is a very special door. I've seen many doors like this. I can get it open. That's for certain. But I need to rest. I think I need a stretch of time to rest here before I attempt getting through this door. And so I don't think that's asking too much. I don't think I need to barter for that. But I'll tell you what, I'll barter with them, and my bartering is an 8. If I don't hit under the 8, they're going to make me open the door first. If I hit under an 8, they'll take that deal straight up and down. All right, so charisma roll. If we roll an 8, perfect. So they say, okay, we'll take that. And so we're going to roll a D6, one here for my HP, a 5, very nice. And then another one for my willpower points, a 4, great. So scoot back down here. That's really great. Okay, thank goodness. So for hit points, 1, we go back up to full. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for willpower points, yeah, we're back up to total. And then what we'll try to do for Threk is we'll roll a healing roll to see if he can do healing with Gartug, because if he could do that, Gartug will be able to roll a 2d6 to heal his HP. So we have to hit under 10 here. A 3, perfect. And so now Threk will not be able to heal, but will be able to sort of tend to the wounds Gartug during this rest. And you guessed it, we're going to have to put the threat counter up again, because to not do that would feel just a wee bit intellectually dishonest. All right, so we'll put this threat counter up to 3. And we're going to roll then a 2d6 to see how much our friend Gartug got back. Beautiful, 8. It's a miracle. So Gartug's at 9. And we'll do 3 against Threka's at 9. So both of them are at 9. That's easy for bookkeeping. I'm back at max everything. Now this door right here is very interesting. I had to do a little research on this because the rule book is a little bit vague on how the door system works. Now I do have carpentry, and I said after the last episode, I said I'm going to look at how this works. So I do have carpentry, and carpentry will allow me to do, for every 1 willpower point I spend, I can do 12 hit points of damage, ignoring armor. Okay. And like, I don't think that, I couldn't figure out like a reasonable hit points rating for a door, but I actually found in the adventure book other examples of doors, and almost all of them were 30 HP with a 10 armor rating. And how you do it otherwise, say you don't have carpentry, is you roll just like a normal attack, but like the armor rating here is a 10. And so like the only risk in that is if you make an attack and the durability the armor of something completely negates your attack. So in this case, say I rolled a 2d6 and I rolled a 4. The armor rating is 10, so it's 4 minus 10. It's not going to do any damage. That would actually damage the durability of my weapon. It would damage my weapon, and my weapon would then be useless, right? And so we definitely don't want to do that. Now, what we will do is we can use our willpower points to take 12 off of that for each willpower point spent. I think that's a good deal. I would have to spend 3, take off 36. But the question is, do I want to have these guys have a go at it? And I think that actually might make them a little bit angry, actually, because I'm telling, the barter, they're not super smart, but I think they can at least see that the barter I made, by the way, I am going to go ahead and remove my condition because I rested, and I also am going to read the letter from my Aunt Spacky, which once every playthrough, which would be right now, I can remove another condition. There we go. Something I have to look up is how we remove those conditions. Otherwise, I'm not able to remember right now. So I'm going to spend the willpower points here. I think that is a fair usage of that. So I'm going to take away 3 of that. We're back down to 10. And that's going to disarm this door.
It's like, he did it. No bad.
Right. So I think the last thing I want to do here, though, is I just want to, before I leave the room, I'm trying to figure out right now if I want to do a spot hidden, but I think if I did a spot hidden, I definitely think I would then have to advance the threat meter again, and I just can't afford it at this point. So why don't we just move into the next room and be good little adventurers here. I've got these blokes in tow, and let's bring up the next room. So we'll use the solo rules, and we will be able to determine what comes next here. And if I remember correctly, we're going to have to build out this room from what I saw. Yep. So room 4 is also unknown. I won't read ahead to the last one, but I can see that one has some content under it. So this one is unknown. So we'll figure this one out again, and we'll see what is in this room. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we already know that we're in a excavated mine. That's the area, so we don't need to do that. We already know the location. What we'll do is we'll just do contents, environment, oddity, and danger. Let's see what it says. All right, let's just roll along this right here. Let's roll some D20s. All right, so contents-wise, we have 8. Flaming braziers. Well, I'm just so I make sure I got this right, I'm gonna look up a portable heater consisting of a pan or stand for holding lit coals. Okay, so that's not necessarily a threat. That's a flaming brazier. We all know that. You, me, everyone else. We loves a good flaming brazier. I have to be careful not to call it a flaming brazier. All right, let's see if I have anything that could represent that. I actually think this is, again, here's my little plug for tabletop tokens. If I wasn't on a Christmas pre-holiday prohibition from buying myself gifts, I would be definitely getting one of these. I would be going on the 26th, I think, to get one. So we have here, these are things that show up a lot in RPGs, right? They're just like the standing lanterns. So this might be the best we can do here. My gosh, I'm leaking little things here. So we'll say, yeah. So we got some flame. Good. That's good. And you know what? I'll put it right there. So we got a few flaming braziers, and what else do we have here? We'll keep this stuff to the side just to see if we need any of it. All right. And another D20, 18, environment, slimy surfaces. Okay. So I have something for that, and I believe that is... So this looks about the same as my dice. So we'll say that this is that color, and that's the slimy surface. And what else do we have here? Let's roll again. Oddity. Well, of course, that's 8. A gigantic corpse. I have that. Actually, I just have regular size corpses, but we'll just pretend that this is like... we'll pretend that this is like realistic size compared to my guy right here. So like that is a gigantic corpse. Great. Wow, this stuff's great. And then finally, the danger we have is 11. We'll have a trap, a hidden trap. Okay, so we'll figure out what kind of trap that is. Actually, let's see if we have a trap list right here. Hopefully we don't. I'm going to rule out having the same trap twice in a row, just because I want some variety in my life, to be honest. Just leave a couple things out here just to use. Okay. See if we have any, maybe we'll have some improvised weapons sitting around. Isn't this fun? We're all having fun. Okay. So the last thing, and I'll put together this scene picture with the big camera in a second. The last thing that I want to see is if we have any inhabitants. And I'm going to pull executive decision here. I am not going to have a monster here. I'm going to have an NPC here because I think if there's a monster, and if my knowledge of quests serves me correctly, we're probably going to have a bigger threat in the last room. So we'll roll a 1D. I'll roll a 1D8 and we'll do I'll roll a 1D10 and we'll do 10, 11, 10 through 20. And if it hits 20, I'm going to do cultists anyways. So let's see what we have here. 1. So that would be the first one on this sheet here. Goblins. Great. Hey. We all knew it was coming. All right. So there's a giant corpse. I will get rid of this. And this is a real slime room. All right. So we walk in. There's fire lighting it up. We can see slime everywhere. Here, let me put this on the big screen. We can see slime everywhere. And these guys,
Hey, boss, this is disgusting.
Gartug says to Threk, and Threk says,
don't you think I know that already?
As if that's like a boast. Like he knows what things that are disgusting. And we'll say that there's this giant corpse here, and that the gobos are munching on this corpse. And how many gobos are there? Well, do we have our little stupid caltrops here? Yeah. We're going to say there are 2. 2 gobos. And I always have a fistful of gobos waiting for me somewhere here. So let's find our little fiends. They're munching on a corpse because they can't help themselves. They got a bit chippy. And this, let's see what goes down here. All right. 2 little gobos munching on a huge corpse. Remix of Blackbird. All right. So he goes. Gartug says,
hey, look over there. There's those 2 little guys munching on that big corpse.
And Threk says,
don't you know I see that?
And then maybe I will go up and say, excuse me, just what in the hell are you 2 doing? And they say,
get back. Get back. You're not going to take this from us. This is our snack. We got it, and we're entitled to it.
And we say, well, just get out of our way. We're trying to look for someone.
And they say, we can't let you go past that door over there. We literally said last time over your dead body. This guy tried to come through, and now we're snacking on him. So why don't you take the memo?
And he said,
hey, orcs don't take memos.
And I said, yeah, nor do mallards, right? And so they said,
oh, so you're going to play it like that, huh?
And then they say,
goblin power.
And they go little rascals style on top of each other's heads. So these 2 have a real act. They got their act together. Okay. We thought, oh, we'll just roll over these little goblins here. I got my retinue of orcs. That's not happening. These goblins, they know how to get into formation here, and they do the little rascals thing, right, where you kind of wear a trench coat, but they're not wearing a trench coat. We got this one on top. He's agile. The one on the bottom, he's holding them up. He's done this before. He's a launch pad for him. So I'm going to see if we can figure out a way to make one of these orcs into a projectile attack of their own. And I'm going to turn around to the orcs and I'm going to say, all right, formations. And they say,
You want me to get on top of Threk's shoulder?
it's like,
You ain't getting on top of my shoulder. You're still in training. If anyone's getting on top of shoulders, it's me getting on top of yours.
and I say, forget it. Sorry. Stop. Everyone stop. No formations. Just attack these two. And they say,
Right, we could do that. Spread out.
okay, they're going over here. And Gartug's going up top. And we're going to say, I'm just going to shift this over a little bit. We'll roll for initiative. You know, we got to fight here, but I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to treat these guys kind of like as one when they're together and then change it up when they're separated a little bit. So for now, I will give them one of the same initiative. Cue sexy battle music. And these guys, good. They're going to get a 9. Threk's going to get a 5. Your boy's going to get a 1 and 6. All right, this works out well. So me, Threk, Gartug, and then these bozos. So together, I think we'll make their attribute score a 12. And I wonder... so I got the first shot here. And maybe this can be my chance to hit them with a poison dagger. The problem is I'm not incredibly familiar with ranged attacks or how they go, but I don't think that it's incredibly difficult or different. If you've gotten this far, you can maybe indulge me just a step further. So with a ranged combat, we have it drawn because it's in hand, and you should be preferably positioned over 2 meters, which is fine. We're about 6 meters away here. And roll against the skill for the weapon you're using. So that'll be a dagger. For throwing weapons, use the same skill as for melee attacks. So knives would be the same. And if the attack hits, the weapon determines which dice you should roll to see how much damage. So that to me says it's like exactly the same. But it can be it could be altered by a dragon and demon roll and stuff like that, as well as armor. We won't give these guys any armor. We'll say the one on the bottom has a little bit of armor, since actually there seems to be a little bit of armor here. So we'll give them 2 armor. But I'm going to try to hit them when they're together. I don't. It depends where I hit to see whether or not they have armor. And damage bonus is fine. The range, the weapons table specifies the range. Okay, critical hit. So that's rolling a dragon. I guess the only difference here is like parrying and dodging. They don't have any shields, so they're not going to be able to parry it. But I guess they could potentially dodge that. And you dodge just like melee attacks. So yeah, let's try that. I'm going to throw this dagger here. And we'll see how that goes. My dagger is knives is a 4. So this is probably be the last time we ever see the the poison dagger, but who knows? This could be a November miracle. So we'll go ahead and roll. We're trying to roll under a 4 here for the first attack. A 10. All right. So throw that dagger. It sails by them, and I will. Maybe right before I throw it too, I said, "Enjoy death." Hey, tell me what the afterlife is like after you're poisoned dead by my special, totally not a trap, totally a usable item, poisoned dagger, Cyanura suckers. Hey, you know what the antidote to this poison is? It's your awful, agonizing death. And everyone's like, it's to the point where people are looking, the orcs are looking at each other, like giving nods, because they're like, this guy is pretty, this is a pretty good, like, death wish he's got here. And then it completely sails over the head, and they go, ah, or maybe even one of them jumps a little bit and lets it through, and it just completely misses. All right, so that poison dagger, we'll call it the poison dagger issue there, is gone, and great. So that. And in fact, though, I should have, and I didn't, I need to remember this time, I get second initiative, which is 3. Feels a little bit slimy, I have to be honest, to do that, because I didn't draw it originally. I'm going to give myself an initiative of 7, so. All right, so next up we have, who is this here? This is Threk. Okay. And Threk, again, we are just going to use the solo rules for minions. I don't think Threk has anything special, even though, Threk is the boss or whatever. I wouldn't say that I'm not going to give an attribute score of 12 or anything like that. So we'll do a move here, and we'll do just like a basic bludgeon attack with Threk on both of them. And we'll roll. Try to get under 10. 18. So he swings. And now this guy, he swings this like mace. And now this is becoming comical, right? Because this guy actually does like a little spin in the air, and the mace completely misses. And we're like, whoa! We're like almost impressed, because it's like Cirque du Soleil, right? All right. Now in comes Gartug, and he's piping angry now, and he's got a big long weapon. So he's going to try to do a hit on them, and it is 5. It is a hit. This is, we'll call it a spear. See if we can quickly find this. This is the problem with having this digital stuff, I have to say, is like it's so easy to sort of just go from sheet to sheet, and you lose sight of the table. So next time I play through, I'm going to try to do a little bit better with that. We'll just call this a long spear. It's 2-handed. Strength is 10. Damage is 8 plus 8. So that's pretty nice. But it's a pierce. It's more of like an axe, I would say. It's not a hand axe. Yeah, let's call it what it is. It's is it a halberd? What does a halberd look like? Yeah. I would say I'm gonna roll it with a 6 plus 6. All right. We'll see how much we take here. Both of these guys, I would say together, they have 20 HP. And 3 and 5, nice, very nice. Hits with an 8, and he says, ah! And this is really a great moment, actually, for Gartug, because up until this point, he's just not had his day in the sun. And so now they're separated, and we'll say that nice hit of 8 puts this fellow, which I'm going to call Dwayne, puts Dwayne down onto the ground to kind of falter back a little bit. And then this one, whose name is Elton says, "No, Dwayne!" And then he says, "You'll pay for that." And I said, "Yeah? Well, why don't I pay for it in steel?" And I'm going to come and do a melee attack. And now much, much better off here with the melee attack, because my stats for that are 12. So all I got to do, roll under. This will be like the first easier attack I've had in a while. And I will completely biff I think I'm going to... I'm going to push that. Yeah, I'm going to push that and give myself exhausted because I just can't accept failure right now. So no matter what this roll is, we'll go with it. Another 18. And so I'm, I think I'm just completely ashamed now at this point. And I just kind of, at that moment, I miss, and I realize I'm fighting next to two orcs. I have slime all over my body. I used to be quite handy with this axe, and now what have I become? But before I can even figure that out, in comes Elton with a 12. Elton also tries a quick jab. Yeah. Does not make contact, and we're going to now roll out 5 initiatives because I think also this guy is going to move and get back by Dwayne and kind of protect him a little bit. So let's see what we got. We're going to roll. Oop, Elton's got 1. Not happy. We'll actually give that to Dwayne here. And we'll give 5 to Elton. 7. Definitely going last. All right, so I would say that Dwayne's got his sort of last. He's on really. There's not much that Dwayne has left here. I mean, he's down to 1 HP. And he's really struggling. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, is that Dwayne was, a couple minutes ago, Dwayne was just munching on a body, and now he's within an inch of his life. And so, but as we know in this game, having your HP down to 0 with minions, that would take them out. And I'll tell you what, let's see. Helping another character gives them a boon to a roll in the same round. No, we'll let Dwayne make his own fate here. So Dwayne wants a revenge hit against Gartug. Now let's see if roll under 10. 8. So he does get that, and I would say that he's got I would probably call it a scimitar. And so that's going to be a 2d6, 3 and 1, 4. So yeah, we'll take 4 off of Gartug, bring him down to 5, and then next up we're going to do, I guess. Okay, so now Gartug is mad because Dwayne just got a nice chunk out of him. And Gartug wants a piece immediately. And so he's going to roll right back with a 3. And I think it's lights out for Dwayne. Yep. Wow. 12. So Gartug, Dwayne got a nice hit on him. And he's looking up at Gartug, and Dwayne has a little bit of blood at his lips, and he's just laughing. And Gartug sort of takes his long axe and then just sort of cleaves Dwayne completely in half. And then once both halves of Dwayne are there, he looks down and he turns towards Threk, who's totally not named after Shrek, and he says, "I made 2 Dwaynes." And then everyone just kind of goes, they're kind of laughing at that because it's funny. I mean, come on. All right, so next up we're going. So this fella is enraged right here, and he just is looking at Threk laughing, and he's going to go in for the attack. And in fact, he's enraged right now, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a boon, and he does connect. Either way on that, and takes a 3 out of Threk, who I think we're going to use we're going to try to dodge. I think this is a situation. Now I know that Threk is kind of an NPC here. We're going to roll versus evade, and like everything else, we'll just say for Threk that that's 10, and we hope that he does 12. No. All right. So Threk is down to 1 HP, and this guy, he's ready for more. You know, he wants the whole world. But Threk also attempted dodge, so his initiative is gone. So it is up to, as usual, the hero of the day, Grotty freaking Flagstaff, is going to come in. And let me show you a little something of how we do when we have a Bane on our attack. Yeah, because Axe is his strength. And so we have to roll under a 10 with the Bane. Come on now. Boy, oh boy. If I had not had that Bane, we would have had a nice spectacle to end it. But I did hit 10 nonetheless, which means that we are definitely going to make contact here. And hopefully we can put this fellow one shot. Give me a 10, 11, or 12. 10, 11, or 12. A 7. Okay. So he's down to 3. And I think I am not going to move away. Let's see. Actually, I think everyone's still has their move, and I think we're all converged here. Obviously, it's bad news. Maybe, actually, we have him surrounded now. Let's look here if we can find a stat that might... like a morale, you know, if I were to say, maybe this is an opposing roll and maybe I'm wrong. Let's just give this guy a 10 and actually, he will try to, let's see if he tries to evade. So that's first things first. We're going to roll under 10 for that. A 2. Yep, he tries to evade. So he is going to run backwards. And then we will use our... Well, I'll just roll a 10 for both of them. And if I don't get that, I'll roll the 8 for me, for my agility, to see if I need to use that. But we'll see if one of the orcs can get him. A 5, yep. So Threk is going to get him. He's going to hang him up here. And he really wounded Threk, and so Threk's like, I'm going to enjoy this. And I think Groddy sees an opportunity here. Clearly outnumbered this guy. He's at an inch of his life. His best friend just died. He was interrupted during a fantastic meal. And so I think I'm going to try to... I think I'm going to say, wait. Hold up. Wait just a second. Maybe this guy has some information for us, okay? And so I think what he's going to say is, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I was just eating. I was on my lunch break, right? And I think we need to do some spot hidden here to see if he's lying. I think it's pretty clear that he's lying, but we'll do a spot hidden nonetheless. Under 12, 14. So I say, okay. Well then, if you don't really know anything, then I guess we'll just get rid of you. And again, Threk is going to raise up. I guess we'll actually try this, because I'll do a roll against 10, and if he goes over it, I think I'm just gonna have Threk waste this guy. I think that's the most natural way to do it. And if not, we'll try another check to see if we're able to spot. 5. So he has 3 HP left. Maybe he'll get his snake eyes here and save his life. No, he has an 8. And so he takes his mace and smashes poor Elton to out of this. He hits him up really high. It's almost like a rocket man, if you will. So he says, "Well,
that wasn't too pleasant. I got quite beat up there."
He said, "Yeah, I think we all took a little bit of a thumping there, but clearly, something is going on here where these two guys are over here. They said we can't go through the door, and so there has to be something within room 5. And I do believe that." It's not the fastest. I'm not the fastest solo player, but I'm also not the best. Or wait, I'm thorough. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave off there. However, I am going to take a look here. Just where we have next is the Fiendish Altar. The cultists take refuge here with their prisoner. My sight cannot glean their aims, but the blood-stained altar at the center of this chamber has seen countless deaths at the hands of those seeking parley with demonic forces. But I sense fear, hesitation in those cultists. They'll not die needlessly for their cause. I suspect free Gorum from their clutches. Cool. So basically when we go into things next time, believe it or not, I believe that I do have a blood-stained altar amongst my little figurines here. I'll dig that out. And we'll get some cultists up. I have some standees to play as cultists. And we'll see how this goes down. We're going to see... there looks like they're about to sacrifice Gorum. So we are on to room... We're on to room 5. That's where we're headed. We're still alive. We're not out of the first mission yet. But here's my question: if you're a solo player and you're asking yourself, "Come on, we need to get going here," where are you going? Where are you going? What do you have to do next? You're playing a role-playing game by yourself. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have a job. You don't have any friends. No, I'm just kidding. Look at all these friends we have. Look at all these friends that we have or had. Thank you to all of you friends who joined me. I'm very excited to keep going here and see how this last part of the first mission goes with the captive orc. Please join me again, and please write in the comments for any ideas of how to play out this last scene here. Otherwise, thank you, everyone. And as my tagline goes, stay cool. That's not my tagline. Stay